Hello, I already made a video like this for Under Rail. Now I want to explain, just give a full character guide and breakdown for Fallout. So, most people lose on this screen right here. They lose as soon as they click done because their build sucks. Your stat allocation is bad. So, I'm going to explain everything on this screen in detail, but first I'm going to just go over the important stuff you absolutely need to know. Gifted is beyond overpowered. It is the single strongest thing in the entire game. +1 to every special. Nothing compares to how good this is. No penalty could really make this not worth it. Skilled is generally the second best because it gives you like 8-9 levels worth of skill points just right off of the bat. So taking skilled and gifted, this is like just starting your character at like level 5 as opposed to level 1. Now, fast shot is good because it takes 1 less action point off of your attacks. So for some, if you're not going to try and do like the alien blaster or basically if you're not going to play with energy weapons, this is okay. If you just want to play like big guns, machine guns, this is also okay for that play style because you lose like 10% damage but gain 10% crit chance, which with burst attacks basically means, you know, with this plus sniper, every burst attack is going to absolutely just eviscerate everything. But these two are more advanced. If it's your first time, just stick to these two. Okay, real quick overview into what everything does. Strength is absolutely pointless for 99% of characters, unless you're going to do melee, like melee only, which kind of sucks in early Fallout. You do want at least 3 strength so that you can pick up the power armor when you get it without the surgery, and every weapon has a needed amount of strength to shoot it. However, if you're under that amount, you just take a -20 accuracy penalty, which your skill with that weapon will more than make up for. Perception, basically... So perception is very important for a perk called Sniper that you get at like level 18. This perk... I don't want to go into how Sniper works because honestly I'd have to pull up the wiki because it doesn't just give you a flat crit chance increase. It like re-rolls crit chance in a way. Basically, if you use this perk, you're going to crit most all of the time with high luck. If you're going to use a burst weapon with Sniper and Finesse, basically every single shot's going to crit and you're going to do like 400 damage every attack. So you generally want at least 7 perception because the Brotherhood of Steel, you can get a surgery to go up to 8. Endurance is somewhat important. It's not important enough to go super high on it. 7 or 8 is enough. Charisma is absolutely terrible. This does literally nothing in the original Fallouts. There is absolutely no reason to have any charisma for any reason virtually at all. In most of these old CRPGs, charisma is the worst stat and you dump it in every build. Seriously, it doesn't matter if you're playing like fucking Age of Decadence or like Fallout or like Planescape, like or Baldur's Gate, like anything that deals with social stuff, you almost never want it. Intelligence is good to take up to like 7 or 8-ish because all it does is give you more skill points and it opens up new dialogue paths, but you never need like 10 of it. So agility is the single most important attribute in the game because it determines your action points. Now, action points are what allow you to attack. And here's something you need to know right away. 8 agility gives you 9 action points, and you don't get another one until 10. So basically, you either decide if you're going to go like 8 agility with fast shot, or if you're going to go 9 agility and then get the Brotherhood surgery to take you up to 10, and this is how you get both of your attacks per turn. But you absolutely, this is the center of your build. This is the single most important stat in the game. For a beginner, I would recommend 9 agility, and then just get the surgery at the Brotherhood whenever you're able to. Luck is incredibly powerful for the simple fact that luck determines how easy it is to get things like the alien blaster, the 10,000 cap just for free, $10,000 right at the start. Basically, in Fallout 1 and 2, there are a lot of random events and just random things that luck... Look, here's a prime example. Dealing with a quest later on, if you have at least 8 luck, there's a 50% chance you just instantly complete the quest and you don't have to fight anyone or do anything. And it just a bunch of XP for free. Just luck has a lot of stuff like that. Also, critting, because of the ability to shoot the eyes in these games... If you do an eye critical with, like, the alien blaster, you're realistically gonna do, like, fucking one-shot Deathclaw or, like, the final boss amounts of damage. So a setup like this is really good, but you still have 3 character points, you know? So you could just do this. If you really want an easy start, you could just do this. It is less optimal because you get less. You're basically spending a point that could go towards just the Brotherhood surgery. But these 3 points, you can like put extra points into endurance if you want to survive more. You can put extra points into intelligence if you want, you know, if you want to have more skill points every level. A setup like this will serve you very well. This will let you use basically every single gun. And something you also need to understand, power armor gives you +3 strength. You can literally get power armor within 5 minutes of starting the game if you want. But 4 strength is plenty for playing through the game until you get to power armor, in which case you go up to like 7, then 8 with the surgery, and it's like, okay, you know, that's whatever. So, as far as your tag skills go, I'm gonna timestamp this bit. As far as tag skills go, you pretty much always tag small guns. Tagging gives a skill, I think 20% exactly more, like skill percent, but then it makes every skill point you invest worth 2 skill points. You basically always want to tag small guns because you'll be using small guns all the way until the mid and or late game, where you will entirely transition to energy weapons or big guns. Most people will transition into energy guns. So tagging, you tag this for the early game, then you tag whichever of these setups you're going for. Big guns, finessed, fast shot, 8 agility, skilled, gifted, 9 agility, energy weapons for like eye criticals. You basically pick one of these 2 options because everything else fucking sucks. Now, the rest of these skills, unarmored isn't exactly a build yet. You know, this is not New Vegas unarmored where it's just insane. It works. It works really good, but like, if you are a new player with no idea what you're doing, and you try to be like the Wasteland monk, you're going to have a garbage time, it's going to be really frustrating, and you're going to hate playing the game. Same exact thing with melee weapons. Because the reality of Fallout is, yeah, sledgehammers can work, but if you try to sledgehammer a super mutant who has a minigun, you're going to spend 1 turn walking up to him, he's going to do a burst attack where all hits are going to hit you, he's going to fucking just one-shot you more often than not. So, like, you can make this work, but this is more of a second or third playthrough kind of thing. Throwing is okay. Grenades aren't terrible. This isn't Underrail, where throwing is like mandatory in just about every build if you're taking it seriously. I've never invested in throwing, and it's never been a problem at all. First aid kind of sucks because stim packs are pretty cheap, considering how easy it is to get money. You just heal with stim packs. And it's the same thing with doctor. There's no important like checks for these either. And, you know, you never really use these skills. They're pretty much entirely ignorable. Sneak has, like, 2 areas where it's okay, but Stealth Boys exist, and you can just click it, and, you know, you don't really have to worry about this skill. Lockpick, however, is actually pretty nice. You do want some points into this. Just for the simple fact, and this is where we need to talk about save scumming. If you want to unlock a door, you can just, like, save and keep loading until the lockpick, like, works in case you break the lock. However, it is worth getting this up to, like, 50, 60, because it just makes your life easier. Stealing, this is hardly used. It's really strong. If you're gonna invest in it, it's really strong. But you drown in money so easily in this game that this is just complete overkill. Same thing with traps. Traps aren't dangerous enough. It was like, once you get combat and or power armor, you just kind of walk over the trap and lose, what, like 10, 20 of your, like, 70 hit points? You know, who cares? Science has a little bit of use, but if you're going with high int, which you always should, this is, like, plenty. Repair is something that you want to have, and I think repair is so good, I actually tag it, because repair has, like, the most checks in the entire game. And if you tag repair, this makes it so you don't have to save scum like 50 fucking times to repair the power armor in the Brotherhood base. So you can just walk there at like level 1 and go get this. Speech is worth putting some points into if you want a more immersive experience, because the way speech works in early Fallout is intelligence opens up dialogue options. And each dialogue option has... So let's say this. Let's say you need to convince someone. an Intelligence 5 character only has 2 dialogue options. An Intelligence 10 character might have 4. And each of those dialogue options have like a modifier to how likely speech is to succeed. And then your speech check percent also affects this. So let's say you need to like convince, I don't know, the guy in the Brotherhood base to give you the core, the power core for the power armor. If you have like 8 intelligence or whatever, you'll give him that like, oh, come on, man, you're the smartest guy I know. Like, can't you see this is important? Blah, 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 blah. And like that naturally, let's say, has like a plus 15% increase to your speech chance. And then your natural speech is like 30%. So you have like a 70% chance of that speech check working. So this means that speech, it's okay if you put it up to like 50 by once you're in like 6th or 7th level, because it just makes your life a little bit easier. But just know, actually convincing people in early Fallouts, this isn't like brain dead Bethesda Fallout 3 where it's literally just a fucking, here's the speech check percent, or God forbid like New Vegas where you just get it to 100 and that's it. You never have to do anything. You actually have to click the proper dialogue options and you're not given any hints as to what's the right one. So it's possible to invest in speech and never succeed a speech check because you just picked the wrong option, which I actually really like and wish games would go back to. Barter is also pretty worthless for the most part. It just makes it so you get better deals. It does exactly what you think it does. But, like, again, this isn't New Vegas. You don't have anything, there's no Gunrunner Arsenal guns that are like 20,000 for you to actually spend caps on. Dude, you can literally get an event with high luck within your first 3 minutes of starting that will give you like 9,000 caps right away, which allows you to just go buy literally anything you want and enough ammo for the entire rest of the game and like 40 stim packs with starting barter. And it's like, oh, okay. Gambling is cool. I mean, that's just it. It's cool. It doesn't really do anything. Outdoorsman, if you're not going to tag repair, I would suggest tagging this. This makes it so you move around the map faster, and this makes it so that you have less chance of getting an interaction where it's like, oh, I'm stopped and I have to fight something now. In fact, once you get this high enough, like in the 60s or 70s, you could just outright ignore those random map encounters. And it's not a small amount. If you have like 10% outdoorsmen like this, and then you go up to like, just like doing this, and then you level up once, and you put like half the level up points into this, so you're at like 50 outdoorsmen, you're like doubling your map speed, which is pretty fucking crazy. I think that covers just about everything about basic Fallout as far as not killing your character goes.